Go ahead.
So, my Uncle Don, pretty cool guy. One of the coolest guys that's probably ever walked this earth since, like, Jesus. So he grew up, his story begins in a small town in Lincoln, Nebraska in the late 1920s. He's my great uncle, not my mom's brother or anything. So his dad owned a small farm, never met his mom, died in childbirth. Growing up, my Uncle Don never had it easy. Had to drop out of school during the Great Depression to help on the family farm. 13 years old. So the guy drops out of 7th grade, never goes back. So he worked on his family farm until his father died in a tragic horse accident. Was actually kicked in the face by a horse. After the death of his father, him and the rest of his siblings had to go live with his aunt and uncle. Absolutely hated those people. Didn't really talk about it after that. So let's fast forward to 1952. Uncle Don enlists in the United States Marines, goes to fight in Korea. He gets wounded in Korea when he was hit by a grenade, so he got wounded. So when he returned, he began to work for a steel trading company in Pittsburgh. That's where he met his first wife. Her name was Sylvia, sweet woman. They had 2 kids together. After working for the steel company for several years, my Uncle Don received a job to work in an advertising agency in New York City. He was paid handsomely for his new job, so he was a pretty rich guy. This is where his life began to spiral out of control, took a turn for the worst. He took a liking to alcohol, which became a huge problem to his family and eventually tore them apart. He often spent nights in the city and wouldn't come home for a few days at a time. Eventually, his wife gave him an ultimatum: quit drinking at his job or she and the kids would leave. Unfortunately, Uncle Don made the wrong choice. He'd become accustomed to the lifestyle of an ad man and couldn't give it up. His wife and children left. He had not seen them since. This wasn't rock bottom, though. Uncle Don hit rock bottom when he was fired from his job. He was out of work for days at a time on alcohol binges. So one day in the 1960s, he decided to pack his suitcase full of a few belongings and hitchhiked all the way to San Diego, California. This is where he began to turn his life around. He met a new woman, and after only knowing each other for 6 days, they eloped in a courthouse in Reno, Nevada. So after that, he never touched alcohol again, turned his life around. He died, so he's not living anymore. So moral of the story, no matter how bad things get, just remember it can only go up from here.